Hey UofSC, I'm Jordan Wiener here with SGTV News 4, and we're going to walk around the horseshoe and interview student government presidential candidate Tommy DiBona. So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So, like she said, my name is Tommy DiBona. I'm a junior, double major in finance and risk management. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, so little far away, but not too far.
It's okay, I'm from New York, so I get the far.
There you go. Came to Carolina freshman year. Immediately, fell in love with all the different opportunities the school has to offer. Started getting involved here and there across campus and, clubs, smaller organizations, things like that.
What made you interested in student government?
So my freshman year, I helped out a little bit on a campaign. That's where I kind of got my feet wet. Nothing crazy. Still really, didn't have any idea of what it was all about or how everything works. And then from there, I had two of my good buddies were involved in staff and encouraged me my sophomore year to apply and go on the elections commission, which oversees the rules and guidelines of all the elections. So I ended up doing that last year, and kind of being on that committee allowed me to oversee everything in student government and really get a feel for what it was all about. And once that wrapped up, I applied to be on Ross Lordo's executive cabinet, where I have been this year, and loved it all. So just kind of took one more step.
And tell me about how you guys got the name for your campaign.
Yeah, so it was honestly something I've had in the back of my mind for a long time. And we decided to go with Unite Carolina. And I think the biggest thing, from my point of view was, as soon as I tell people that, everyone automatically assumes, oh, race, gender, religion, that's what you're going after. And when I thought of the name, I mean, that wasn't even, obviously it was an important part of it, but it was not the main staple of why we wanted to call us Unite.
Okay.
What we wanted to establish was this idea of building personal relationships with people in different organizations before the organizations tried to come together as one.
Gotcha.
And I think, a lot of times you see organizations trying to work with one another because they feel like they're expected to, or because, they're like, oh, this would look good for us if we partner with them. And there's no personal connection between the two.
Right.
So the whole Unite idea is all about building these personal relationships and then getting to the point where these organizations are going to flow so well.
So going off of that idea, in your platform you mentioned trying to create some sort of student board.
Yep.
So what do you hope to gain from that?
So obviously there's been a lot of, push, and there will continue to be push on our end for the student body president to have a vote on the board of trustees.
Right.
And this is kind of, taking a smaller step towards that. And we want this student board to represent all different aspects of groups, organizations, and just really general beliefs and ideas across our campus. So the goal is to have these groups represented on the board, meet with the 4 executive officers, probably on a once every 3 week basis, and just tell us what's going on.
Get some input from the student body.
Because this campus is so large that the executive officers are never going to be able to hear every problem,
right,
every concern that every student has. So we look to eliminate some of that with this board and really get down to, hey, tell me what you're thinking, what's going on, why are you thinking like that?
Sounds good. You also want to set up something that resembles ESPN's College GameDay. So how would that work? How do you want to get students involved in that rather than doing whatever traditions they already have on game days? Yeah,
so our, Gamecock Game Day idea, it's not necessarily, to replace tailgating or stuff like that, because we all know that's a great part of football season and everything.
Of course.
But what we want to accomplish with this Gamecock Game Day is an alternative if students, one day, hey, I want to do something else before the game. They have the ability to go check in and watch. We're going to have guest speakers, and anyone who wants to apply to host it for the week will be set up on a panel. There'll be 3 or 4 student-led reporters, if you will. And basically they're going to have activities, guest speakers, and planned events for all the students to come and enjoy. And what we really want to do is get to the point where organizations can start sending members, and as every member from an organization comes and checks in, they say which organization they're in, and the winning organization that has the most members attend will then get a donation.
Ooh,
And that
good.
donation will go to the philanthropy of that organization's choice. So we want to tie in philanthropy to the fun of Game Day.
So speaking of philanthropy, you want to come up with some sort of student driver program. So can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So this student driver program, it's everyone uses Uber, everyone uses Lyft, things like that. And those are great, but for the average person who is a freshman, comes to Carolina, and maybe doesn't feel comfortable or wants to use something else to get home safely, we want to provide an alternative where students are allowed to drive students. And these students are going to have to pass screening from the university, a class that's established and approved and led by UofSC PD, and basically make sure it's a safe but very, very useful ride-sharing program. And there's a lot of aspects to it that will model after other universities that are already in the process of forming this.
Right, and you said that if someone was a part of Relay for Life, that they could use that money to donate toward their organization?
Absolutely. Because I think right now, unofficially, there's a lot of fundraising where students are saying, hey, instead of Uber, call me tonight,
Right.
Venmo me, and I'm going to donate to this cause. And this is just, formalizing those steps that are already in place.
So if you were to be elected student body president, you would have to speak to the incoming freshmen at their orientations.
Yes.
So what are some things that you would say to those people?
I think being truthful with them is definitely something that you have to be right off the bat. And this is something that's really important to me because I have a sister who's a senior right now deciding where she's going to go, and Carolina's up there for her, which is, I don't know how I feel about that quite yet. But really, you got to tell them that they're going to see things that they've never seen before. They're going to be put into situations they've never been put in before. But if they handle them the right way and they have the ability to know what's coming and how to go about it, you can use those very much to your advantage. And there's definitely things that you're going to have to say no to, but there's definitely things you have to say yes to at the same time. And seeing, that great opportunity and taking advantage of that freshman year can lead to an even greater one comes your senior year.
Sure. So you said you wanted to get the average student more involved with their student government. So what are ways that you think you can accomplish that goal?
I think the biggest thing is letting people know that you're a student. You're not the student body president first. You're a student first. And you're one of whoever's sitting next to you, these people right here, you're a fellow friend to them. And I think a lot of times some people get the idea that, student government, it's its own thing. You have to be a part of it from the beginning.
Right.
If you're not involved freshman year, you're not involved sophomore year, then, all the spots are filled. And that's just not true. And we want to get to that point where kids know what's going on, they know why it's going on, and they can sit back and say, wow, thank goodness someone's doing that for us.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's your job to make sure someone else's day is better and someone else has a chance at this school that they might not otherwise.
That's great. Well, if you had one thing that you could say to your voting student body, what would it be?
I would say, Carolina, you're going to hear a lot of things that are going to sound great and a lot of promises that are going to come to you. But at the end of the day, I think it's really important just to look at everyone involved, every platform, and say, what is going to be the best for me? What is going to help me get to a place that I can't get to otherwise? And hopefully myself and our ticket and Unite Carolina are going to be able to do that for you all.